Okay, now we're going to use our knowledge of substitution and check our solutions that we arrived at some previous problems. Our answer that we got was x is equal to -3, so we're going to use substitution and plug it in place of that x right there. So we have -5 times our substitution, which is -3, plus 6 is equal to 21. Once we do our substitution, now all we have to do is follow order of operations. So a negative times a negative is a positive. Bring down the rest of the problem until you need it. Okay, now I have 15 plus 6 is equal to 21. So on the left, I do that. Combine my like terms and get 21 is equal to 21. So yes, I did that one correctly. Now let's go to the one in the middle. The answer that I got was x is equal to 8. This one has a variable on both sides. So I'm going to take my x and plug it in place of there and there. Make sure when you're doing substitution, wherever you see the variable, that's where your answer goes. All right, so we have 10 times our substitution, which is 8, minus 7 is equal to 8 times our substitution, which is 8, plus 9. Okay, so now let's work the left side out. So when I work out the left side, multiplication comes first. 10 times 8 is 80, minus 7 is equal to multiplication over here on the right. 8 times 8 is 64, plus 9. And I get 8 take away 7, 80 take away 7, which should be 73. And over here I have 64 plus 9, and that should give me 73. So I did that one correctly as well. All right, now let's try the last one again. You're going to take the answer that you got, -8, and we're going to substitute it in place of every x that we see there. So we have -2, draw our parentheses. We have -8 plus 3 minus -8 minus 2 equals 20. Okay, so when we get to this problem, I did this one on purpose because it has a few steps. So our first step is going to be parentheses because remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Order of operations says that we have to do what's in parentheses first. So let's do that. I have -2 here. And then -8 plus a positive 3 gives me a -5. Minus, I have a -8. And remember, you add the opposite right here. So we're going to say this becomes adding a -2 because you have to add the opposite of positive 2. So a -8 plus a -2 gives me a -10. And that is equal to 20. All right, so now, once we've done that step, what's our next step? Order of operations says do multiplication. So when I do my multiplication, I get -2 times -5. A negative times a negative is a positive. Here, remember my little spirit 1? There it is. -1 times -10. A negative times a negative is a positive. And then look at this. On the same side, I have 10 plus 10. That gives me 20. That gives me 20. So I did that one correct as well. The key is when you get your answer, make sure that you plug that substitution in, okay, for every one of the variables that you see. And when you do your order of operations, make sure that on this last one, for instance, making sure that you change your signs. If you don't change your signs, you're likely to get the wrong answer. All right, next module is a new lesson on solving using distributive property.